Suddenly, every Dick and Harry and every Tom and Jerry that fought against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who stood on the ground that Nnamdi Kanu should never be released if he did not drop the Biafra agitation. Suddenly, all of them now are beginning to speak out. They know far more than us. We don't know anything. They have already seen the handwriting on the wall that Nnamdi Kanu coming out is going to be a very big blow to all of them. Why am I making this statement? P2B, after 4 years of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration, DSS came out yesterday, the other day, to talk about the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Haven't done anything. And some people feel like he's doing it for political purposes. They know that Nnamdi Kanu once he is out. Another Mumu again, and Sabo, the betrayer, the blood-sucking demon in the form of Dèvîl, Umahi, don't come out the other day now and begin to talk. Okay, the current news now is that he is apologizing to Biafrans for saying that he said he's not part of Biafra. That was he was provoked by the way Nnamdi Kanu is handling the agitation. Can you imagine that rubbish? That is what this man is coming to tell us after stepping on toes of Biafrans for the past 8 years. He was the governor. Do you know how many Biafrans this man unalived in Ebonyi State? Anyway, that is story for another day. Let us just read the one that is before us here now. Umahi's claim about negotiations for Kanu's release, a misleading statement that must be disregarded according to IPOB. Okay, and another one here is IPOB marginalization and the Nigerian state, a historical and contemporary examination of conflict, repression, and demands for self-determination. Let us just go straight to the reason why we're here. I don't want to talk too much so that when I go begin to blame me, say I don't talk too much. Let us just read what I've been written here. And as you are watching, please kindly drop your opinion in the comment section. What do you think? Should we accept Dèvîl Umahi back? Because it's Dèvîl Umahi, not Dèvîl itself. Dèvîl Umahi. Okay. It depends on the Biafrans now to decide at the comment section of this video. The attention of the global family of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, have been drawn to the reckless and contentious utterances of the Minister of Works, Dèvîl Umahi, who claimed that negotiations are ongoing for the release of our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. This is laughable propaganda, obviously orchestrated by the same oppressive government that criminally abducted and extraordinarily renditioned him from Kenya. Is nothing short of an insult. Both his apology and the negotiation of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's release is not accepted, according to IPOB spokesperson, which is a man powerful. And this is a very big insult to both him as a person and to the millions of Biafrans whose hopes he embodies. Dèvîl Umahi is among those who forced Buhari to prescribe IPOB as a terrorist organization. We have lost many souls because of that word alone, prescription of IPOB. Dèvîl Umahi will give account of all these things. And according to the information from one Ebonyi State, they call it Ebonyi First Son blogger. He said this man, each time he traveled back to the village, there was be a shout from his house, according to people who live around there. So according to the Megari there, they said that this guy, this old man always complained of seeing a strange faces in his house each time he closed his eye to sleep. That was why he keep on running from his home and lay permanently in Abuja. But you never start to see anything. This one is just a beginning. Okay, let's continue from where we stopped. Let it be made abundantly and unequivocally clear. There is no negotiation whatsoever that involves Nnamdi Kanu accepting any so-called conditions from the Nigerian government. None. Absolutely none. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not a political machinery. He is not a job seeker. He is not a saboteur looking for rehabilitation. He is a freedom fighter whose only condition is this: a United Nations supervised referendum or plebiscite for the people of Biafra to determine their future. That is the only acceptable platform for any discussion, not some half-baked negotiations being peddled in the media by political errand boys. Let the world remember. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been detained illegally for nearly 7 good years, 5 of which have been in solitary confinement, enduring inhuman conditions in DSS dungeon. He lost his parents, both of whom were laid to rest amid military invasion and trauma. He has suffered torture, physical abuse, and humiliation, all for daring to speak truth to power and demand justice for his people. He has been subjected to multiple amended charges, secret trials, and judicial terrorism, and yet he remains unbroken. What makes any rational person think such a man, who has sacrificed everything, will now grovel for release under ridiculous conditions? If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were amenable to compromise or cowardice, he would have bowed years ago. The very idea of attaching conditions to his release is a gratuitous insult to the memory of those who have died, to his lifelong conviction, and to the cause of Biafra. Let us also remind Nigerian government and her stooges that Simon Ekpa, who once arrogated to himself some phantom Biafra government in exile, publicly recanted in Finnish court, where he admitted he is no longer a prime minister but just a content creator. A lie. You see it? A lie. This speaks volumes about who is truly committed to the cause and who is in for clout and chows. Let it be stated in thunder, according to him: no Jupiter, no mortal, no regime, no matter how brutal or deceptive, can make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu drop the agitation for Biafra. His blood, bones, and spirit are intertwined with the Biafra cause. He is a generational figure, a man who comes once in 1,000 years. Any hope that he will abandon the struggle is delusional. We therefore want Dèvîl Umahi and his ilk to desist from peddling lies and false hopes. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's freedom is non-negotiable and must be based on justice, not manipulation. And the only path forward is a referendum supervised by the United Nations, nothing more and nothing less. The Nigerian state is compounding its own crisis by detaining Mazi Nnamdi Kanu illegally. Let them be reminded that continued injustice only breeds resistance. Comrade Emma Powerless, spokesperson and media and publicity secretary for IPOB. Another verse. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, is a freedom movement advocating for the independence of Biafra, a region in southeastern Nigeria, primarily inhabited by the Igbo ethnic group. Its formation, ideology, and activities are deeply rooted in historical grievances, ethnic tensions, and the legacy of the Nigerian Civil War of 1967 to 1970. Historical context: the roots of IPOB, the Nigerian Civil War of 1967 to 1970, Biafra agitation. The origins of IPOB trace back to the Nigerian Civil War, when the southeastern region, led by Lieutenant Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, declared the Republic of Biafra in May of 1967. These followed ethnic tensions, particularly after the 1966 anti-Igbo pogroms in the northern Nigeria, where thousands of Igbos were killed, prompting calls for Biafra sovereignty declaration. War and defeat. the war driven by ethnic, economic, and political disputes, including control over oil-rich southeastern territories, ended in January 1970 with Biafrans' surrender. The conflict caused an estimated 1 to 3 million deaths, mostly from the starvation due to the Nigeria's blockade, and left deep scares among the Igbos, who felt marginalized in the post-war Nigeria. Post-war marginalization. The Nigerian government's no victor, no vanquished policy promised reconciliation, but Igbos faced systematic exclusion, including limited political representation, economic neglect, and discriminatory policies like the £20 compensation irrespective of your millions in the bank. These grievances fueled resentment, setting the stage for continued demand for Biafra sovereignty. Pro-IPOB movements. Ohaneze Ndafonse 1970s formed as a social cultural organization to represent the Igbo interest. Ohaneze advocated for integration within Nigeria but failed to address radical demands for Biafra agitation. Creating space for groups like IPOB, Movement for the Actualization of Sovereign State of Biafra, MASOB, in 1999, founded by Rafo Wazirike, MASOB revived Biafra agitation through non-violent advocacy. However, its arrest and internal splits by the early 2000s weakened its influence, paving the way for IPOB's emergence. MASOB's moderate approach contrasted with IPOB more vocal stance, formation, and the early years of IPOB. Founded in 2012, IPOB was founded in 2012 by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a British Nigerian activist, in response to the perceived failures of MASOB and ongoing Igbo marginalization. Kanu was born in 1967 in Abia State, leveraging his platform as director of Radio Biafra, a London-based station, to advocate for Biafran independence. Early activities: 2012 to 2015, Radio Biafra. Kanu used Radio Biafra to spread IPOB's message, accusing Nigeria of marginalizing Igbos and calling for self-determination. His broadcast gained traction among Igbo youths and diaspora, raising IPOB's profile above every other freedom agitating movement in Africa, in fact, in the world. Protests and rallies. From 2013, IPOB organized protests in cities like Onitsha, Aba, Owerri, Port Harcourt, Abakaliki, and Enugu, demanding a referendum. These events drew thousands but faced police crackdowns, with Amnesty International later documenting 150 deaths in 2015 to 2016 IPOB peaceful protest. Government response. The Nigerian government, being threatened IPOB's growing influence, arrested Nnamdi Kanu on October 19 of 2015 in Lagos by DSS on the charges of sedition and treasonable felony, marked the start of escalated tensions. Strongholds of IPOBs are concentrated in Nigeria's southeast, where the Igbo ethnic group, the movement's primary base, predominates. These areas are characterized by significant grassroots support, frequent protests, sit-at-home orders, and the activities of the Eastern Security Network. ESN. ESN is a security vigilante group of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, confront Fulani herdsmen primarily to protect Igbo farmlands and communities in Nigeria's southeast from threats. It is widely reported that Fulani herdsmen often armed and involved in violent clashes with our farmers, engaged in activities like crop destruction, kidnapping, and land grabbing, which disrupt agricultural activities and threaten local security. Report indicates ESN's actions are framed as a defense against these Fulani herdsmen incursions, especially during farming seasons, with orders to drive herdsmen out of Biafra land to safeguard our Igbo farmers. Abia State significance. Aba, a commercial center like every other state, is a key IPOB stronghold due to its economic importance and dense Igbo population. Protest and sit-at-home orders are highly effective there, often paralyzing every activity. Key events. The Nigerian military invasion of Nnamdi Kanu's home in Afaruku, Ibeku, Umahi, Abia State, occurred in September of 2017 during Operation Python Dance 2. Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, was a target due to his agitation advocating for Biafra independence. 28 unarmed people were reportedly killed by Nigerian soldiers. Enugu State significance. Enugu is a historical capital of Eastern region, hosts significant IPOB activity, though less intense than Anambra or Imo. Protest in 2015 to 2016 and sit-at-home compliance demonstrate strong support. Legal milestone. The 2023 Enugu High Court ruling nullifying IPOB's prescription as a terrorist group underscored the state's symbolic importance, though the ruling was later overturned. Ebonyi State. Significance of Ebonyi State have a quieter but consistent IPOB presence, with protest and sit-at-home adherence. The state relative underdevelopment fuels IPOB's narrative of nationalization. Academic perspective. A 2020 study by Ebonyi State University scholars noted IPOB's growing influence here, driven by federal neglect. IPOB's presence in other states. Beyond the southeast, IPOB has varying degrees of presence in states associated with the former Biafran territory or areas with Igbo populations. These regions show sympathy for IPOB's cause, though operational activities are less intense. South states. Justice and accountability will be the next topic. A value demand for justice against historical and ongoing wrongs, including the 1966 anti-Igbo pogroms, the Nigerian Civil War atrocities, and the post-war marginalization. Applications. IPOB seeks accountability through legal avenues, such as the ECOWAS course of 2020 ruling, awarding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu 25 million naira for unlawful detention, and international advocacy documenting abuses, as in the 2020 United Nations letter listing 12 incidents of state violence. Example, the 2023 Enugu High Court ruling, which declared IPOB prescription unconstitutional, aligned with this value, though its reversal by Abuja Court of Appeal limited its impact. Unity and solidarity. Value. Fostering unity among Biafrans, including Igbos and other ethnic groups like Ijaw and Efik, to build a cohesive cultural symbols like the Biafran flag and the Remembrance Day of May 30, to rally support the diaspora's role, with coordinators in the US, UK, and Europe, reinforces global solidarity. Example, the 2015 to 2016 protests in Onitsha and Aba, drawing thousands, showcase regional unity, rule of law, and human rights abuses in Biafra territory. In conclusion, In conclusion, since the end of Nigeria's civil war, the Igbo people have faced systematic marginalization, political exclusion, and alleged human rights abuses, issues that fuel the rise of IPOB and its calls for Biafra self-determination. Despite the group's emphasis on non-violence and legal advocacy, the Nigerian government military response have been widely criticized for excessive force and rights violations. The contrast between the treatment of IPOB members and the integration of repentant Boko Haram insurgents had further deepened perceptions of injustice and ethnic bias. As tensions persist, a peaceful resolution rooted in dialogue, justice, and respect for human rights remains crucial to preventing further unrest and fostering national identity. This article is written by Okudiri Innocent Nduru, published by Family Writers Press International. That is where we are bringing this information. Can't give my people of Biafra. So, in case you are still wondering why the message is too long, my brother, so as you don't read it finish, or as you don't listen finish, just make sure you don't watch it alone. Give your members, colleagues, families, and friends and well-wishers, let them also partake in watching this news, because all the very, very important. In fact, let it go viral. And as you do that, the Almighty Chukwuokabia may continue to bless you, prosper you, and meet you at every point of your need. Ka Chineke nna dike niile gọzie nwoke gọzie nwaanyị n'afa Chukwuokabia ma onye pụrụ ime ihe niile ise.